Rage on that beat, going crazy.
Yokoso, yokoso, yokoso. Arigato gozaimashita. Thank you for all being here. Welcome once again to the Stadia Monday Night Chat, episode 57, with me, your host, of course, Clive Illenden. I hope you are all well. I hope you are all good. And thank you so very much for joining me live tonight in the chat. I can already see we have Sednar, we have Lord Vivek, John Fourscars Gaming, Dave Widnall, Jerome, Paul, Cloud Gaming Dad, Jakey, and Project Storm. Whoop, whoop. Wow. Great to see you all, of course. And if you're catching up later, hey, that's cool. That's okay. I understand. Some people go to bed. Some people are doing other things, but thank you too. Now, remember, before I forget, because you're all so engrossed in my compelling content, please hit the likes if you haven't already, as I like them, YouTube likes them, and it helps people like you find content like this. And if you are new here, oh my God, welcome. Nice of you to join us. I really appreciate it. Please, arigato gozaimasu. Hit the subscribe button, toggle that notification bell so you know when I go live with content like this. Anyway, there we go. Welcome for Gaming to the Members Club. Whoop, whoop. Much appreciated. I'm liking the new notification. It's my little new notification. There are other versions. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, enough of the jibber jabber. I have a really packed show, and I'll be unpacking a lot of stuff today. Stuff that I'd kind of pre-written, and then a few curveballs came in. But that's okay because we've managed to incorporate all of that. Hello, Liam. Hello, Crow Rizin. How are you? How are you? Anyway, of course, we will have the obligatory Stadia news of the week. A look at the pro games, the big releases this week, all of that, as you would come to expect from any kind of Stadia show. And of course, the main bit, the thing I'm going to be unpacking is a little piece I'm going to be calling Let's Follow the Breadcrumbs. Yeah, just some little movements that I've seen Google Stadia doing recently that on their own may not seem that significant. Oh, Project Storm in there with the $10. Thank you very much, Project Storm. Much, much appreciated. I missed if the notification went off there. Fail if it didn't. Anyway, so I will be unpacking. There it is. It's working. So anyway, I shall be unpacking stuff, basically following lots of little breadcrumbs that I've noticed over the last week or so, which, I don't know, if you follow them, just sort of point in a sort of overall positive way. And trust me, no one else is covering this stuff. Yeah. Going into this kind of detail that I'm going into, so you're going to hear it first, it's on a par with the great look at the Stadia numbers that MM2K and Jack DeSlip did yesterday. It's that kind of analysis, looking at the facts and stuff. I'm not doing analysis. I'm just following some stories. But if you look at the facts behind the headlines, behind the Twitter junk and all that kind of stuff, you can see indicators and signs, and we're going to be unpacking all that. So anyway, as I say, on this show, I research the fringes. I look behind the headlines. Not everything is always obvious and in plain sight. But as I say, ladies and gentlemen, more. It's louder than your mic. What, the notifications? Yeah, well, we want everybody to know. Anyway, more on that later. First, as is par for the course, let me know what games you've been playing in the chat. Have you tried the Resident Evil Village demo? I know Project Storm has. He's loving it, absolutely loving it. Put it in the chat. I haven't yet. I think Lord Kensal may stream it tomorrow. I haven't decided. I didn't get a chance. But word on the street, I trust Project Storm's judgment. Very, very positive. Looks amazing. Most streams I've seen look amazing. Cloud Gaming Extreme did their comparison. Not much in it, really, between the current generation, Xbox Series X, and Stadia. And as I've said a million times, it's pointless comparing them forensically if the difference is hardly anything. Because who's actually playing them next to each other, concurrently on the same platforms? Nobody. It's bonkers. Anyway, but there we go. So, looks like Capcom have knocked it out of the park again, as we'd expected. As for me, generally, I've been playing a lot of Judgment. I'm really enjoying that game and the story and all that. I know some people don't like a lot of the cutscenes and stuff, but it's like an interactive story. It's an interactive narrative. And that's what you get with these. And but at the same time, on the other hand, the gameplay is really arcadey and really fun. There's the fighting feels arcadey when you're having to chase somebody through the streets and sort of do the button presses left and right. That's a very Sega arcadey experience. And yet this is all kind of threaded through a really compelling, interesting drama story. Then you feel for the characters. You get to know the characters. I love the way that you get to make friends with people around the city or that area of the city and around the map and stuff. And the food, man, I love the food. I love popping into a little kind of fast food joint and ordering some sushi or a bowl of beef or something from the guy. There's a Chinese guy who works in one of the food places, and he befriends the Chinese guy and he does beef bowls and stuff like that. Love it. Love all that. I actually kind of almost can taste the food. It's that good. Anyway, I'm absolutely loving it. And as ever, my staple go-to, of course, is PUBG. It just calls me back. It's addictive. Don't know what it is. I had a 5-kill game, first time ever. I was ripping it up. I was on a roll. It was looking so good for me, and I got caught out and killed by the bloody cloud. Oh man, I was so devastated. I was on fire. I've never been that good. It was great. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, put it in the chat. We can see, Project Storm saying the Resident Evil demo is amazing, and it's absolutely dope on Stadia and PC. John Scars, yeah, it is a rich game. It's an awesome game, Judgment. I agree. Division 2 and Trine 4 with the wife. See, I nearly tried to get my daughter to play Trine 4 with me in co-op because I just think that's just a great kind of concept. Trials of Cold Steel from Dave. Are you enjoying the Trials of Cold Steel? I must admit, my daughter is enjoying Ease 8. So that's good. Crow Resin is loving the notifications. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Making it rain. Feel free to trigger them again, everybody. So anyway, let's get to the meat and potatoes. That's what you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to the meat and potatoes and the anchor. Let's anchor this show, ladies and gentlemen. Let's anchor this show in the familiar, right? Which is doing what every other Stadia content show does. Before I get on with the real interesting stuff, let's discuss the Stadia blog post. Yay! Let's do it, people. Let's do it. Let's look at it, give an opinion. Let's have some feedback, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do that. Okay. So, to kick off, let's go to the news. Whoops. Just stop there. Right. It helps if I put the news in the news. Always put the news in the news, Clive, before you start the show. Boom. There it is. So, of course, as mentioned, and as many people have kind of touched on and stuff, the pro games are all here. 4 pro games this month. Ooh, it's a mystery. It's a mystery. Probably Ark. Hotline Miami 2, wrong number, Trine 4, Floor Kids. Loving Floor Kids. It's so fun. My daughter came down and said, "What is that you keep playing? I could just hear the music all the time." So I just handed her the controller and straight away she did better than me. I've got old man rhythm, yeah? Old man rhythm. She was like, yeah. Brilliant. But it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun's got to be said. Let me just put it up. Oh, let me go to plain news. Let me just make sure the plain news is there. So we have it big as well. Boop, boop. So, so the 4 pro games, as we said, Trine 4, Hotline Miami, and Floor Kids, plus they mentioned there will be another game coming announced next week, probably tomorrow. Speculation is it's probably going to be Ark. If I was a betting man, I'd put my money on Ark. But I've seen sort of stuff, speculation about some other things. But some people said it will be good for Jedi Fallen Order because it's 4th of May. May the 4th be with you and all that. Could be. Liam saying the Stadia store is down, but Four Scars is saying working for me. Might be regional then, Liam. Anyway. So also last week came out Legend of Keepers, Career of a Dungeon Manager. Let me know if anybody bought that as well. So that came out where you are the dungeon master trying to keep the heroes in lock. And State Share came to Serious Sam 4. Who's playing Serious Sam 4? But it's interesting to see that developers are going back and implementing these things. They don't have to. So it's encouraging, I think, ultimately. It's quite encouraging that developers go back to do these things. And we saw it a bit with Monster Boy. I think they'd been working on it and then they released the crowd play bit on Monster Boy and stuff like that. So again, more examples of people going back or developers going back and adding things, which is all very encouraging. One thing I just did want to mention here. So, as I mentioned, we're getting 4 games, ladies and gentlemen. 4 games. Which always reminds me, oddly enough, ladies and gentlemen, always reminds me of the doom mongers who, a few months ago, as soon as the Stadia Pro had, say, only 3 games, like, they were straight away off on one. You know, go, oh my God, it's only 3 games. It's disappointing. You know, it's February and we've only got 3 games or whatever it is. You know, oh, it's less than we had in November. You know, completely forgetting the fact that these things are seasonal. This is it, the long farewell. It's all over. Whoop, whoop. Codex just became a member. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, look, a single lark does not a summer make. Yeah? A survey of 1 is hardly analytical. Yeah? There is a content creator who shall remain nameless, who always loves to say, his turn of phrase is, everybody says this, everybody says this, or everybody's thinking this, or everybody is saying it. Yeah? And usually what is being said, I've not heard before until that very person said it right there and then. Yeah? Well, that's basically how Donald Trump speaks. Everybody says so. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody says X, which is kind of a dumb way of trying to validate an opinion. Who is everybody? And why didn't I get the memo? What they mean is a few people, or there was a conversation or thread on Reddit or on their Twitter feed. Yeah? A Twitter feed with like-minded people, i.e. a bubble. Yeah? That is not everybody. Okay? Whew. Sorry, but that's a real bugbear of mine. Thank you there, Codex, for becoming a member. Shokayu, arigatou gozaimasu. And Dominic for the £5. Much, much, much appreciated. Thank you. Means a lot to me. Brilliant. Anyway, as I was saying, that's a real bugbear of mine. A little mini rant. My mum used to say it all the time, and it really peed me off. What she meant was she'd read something in the Daily Mail. Everybody say it, Clive. Everybody says it. Oh, yes, everybody's saying it, Clive. That's right. She basically read it in the Daily Mail. Context. Always give context. I read it here. I saw it here. Give me the example. If you said something and then you said, I read it in the Daily Mail, I'd go, oh, it would give me context, a frame. So anyway, we'll come to an example of this later, ladies and gentlemen. It's a little bugbear, a little diversion. But anyway, it's probably will get me a few down likes, but fudge it. Wanted to get off my chest. It annoys me, generally. Anyway, mini rant done. Don't do it. Okay? It's on a par with the, I can't wait for Stadia to release Gen 2.0. Stop it. Stop it. My mum always says that as well. Oh, Clive, I can't wait for Stadia to release Generation 2.0. Oh, she doesn't. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, anyway, I'm off on one. Sorry. Segue, ladies and gentlemen. Segue. Let me down the notifications. Okay, I've down the notifications. Whew, and breathe. Thank you, people, for letting me know. I've just sort of toned down the notifications there. It's partly so I can hear it in the distance. That's what it is. Anyway, so back to the other blog. Let's go to this blog. Let's go back to the other blog that we had last week. And this, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my goodness. What can we say about the other blog? This all started, ladies and gentlemen, kicked off by Grace, lovely Grace, announcing this, ladies and gentlemen. So Grace sent out a Twitter announcing this. I tell you, I could almost hear everybody clicking on that link going, oh, quick, I can't wait. And by the way, Grace, I've DM'd you. You're ghosting me. I'm hurt. Anyway, Grace kicked it off with this Twitter post about the search bar, and boom. Oh my goodness. So, hey everyone, over the last few months, you've been letting us know about the features you want to see next on Stadia. Today we're giving you a sneak peek into a little more of what we've been working on. First off, the search bar for Stadia Web is rolling out. Oh my goodness. There we are. Thank you, Project Storm, for testing the sound. Hope that's not too bad, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Oh, what a bunch of wags you are, ladies and gentlemen. Out there on Twitter land. What a bunch of wags, eh? It's amazing. So funny. Everybody was at it. Thank you. Simmer down. Yeah, thank you. So, anyway, right, Stadia walks into a bar, yeah, but it wasn't a search bar. Yeah, thank you. I'm here all night, folks. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, so Stadia walks into the pub, and the landlord says, hey, Stadia, you're barred, search barred. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's not just me, ladies and gentlemen, it's not just me. Loads of people have been saying jokes, not just me. Here. I hear Stadia's added a search bar. Yeah, from Google. The irony. Ladies and gentlemen, here's my favourite. This is my favourite, ladies and gentlemen. On the subject, I've got a whole list of them, ladies and gentlemen. I've got a whole list of them. Finally, I'm in Google, search. You think it'd be first in there. It's hilarious. Loads. Google exec number 1. Hey, number 2. PlayStation Now is about to drop 1080p. Google exec number 2. Darn. I think it's time we dropped our secret weapon. Google exec number 1. Gasped. You don't mean Google exec number 2. Release the search engine. Oh yes. Here's one, ladies and gentlemen. Here's one. I know. Hey, keep it in. Yeah. Well, I don't know what to complain about now. It's hilarious, isn't it? And here's my favourite tweet on the matter. This was in the replies. Hey, Grace. Great. Hey, Grace. Great. Any news when Destroy All Humans will release on Stadia? What a bunch of wags, ladies and gentlemen. What a bunch of wags, ladies and gentlemen. It went full on meme city out there, ladies and gentlemen, didn't it? Full on meme city. Generally, most people were pretty excited about the news and stuff like that. Of course, over there in the corner, old Moni McMoney sat in the corner going, I don't know why everybody's so excited. Should have been there from the beginning. It's pathetic. And I quote, this is a quote from Marvin, the paranoid android. The whole announcement is underwhelming. Just some quality of life improvements, that's all. Should have been there added a long time ago. And people are celebrating like it's a big deal. Goes to show how desperate this community is for some positive stuff. It's becoming a bit sad, TBH. Wow. Took the atmosphere right out of the room. Can't we have a little joy in our lives, eh? Can't we have a little joy? Do you have to be some kind of succubus and suck the love and fun out of every little thing, eh? Will you not be happy until we're all as miserable and dour as you? Dear old Mony McMoney of Moneshire. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, changes to the UI are being made. Yeah? I won't go through all the changes because you've all read them and all seen them, but they're being made. And we can add this to the list of the breadcrumbs I referred to later. Stadia, like many Google apps and services, is constantly developing over time. Things are being rolled out with little or no notice. As we were told this would be the case by a certain John Justice. You're dead to me now. Who? You're dead to me now. I'll come back to that later, but whenever somebody leaves, says they're going to leave at work, it's a kind of running joke. We go, you're dead to me now. You're dead to me now. So John Justice, you're dead to me now. Anyway, the point is, we're just sitting here for the ride. The Stadia machine is still turning. No one's switching off the engines and letting it run down. Stuff's happening in the background. Yeah? So this is really, really great stuff. Whoa! MM2K coming in with the $5. Thank you. Anyway, let me know what you think of the changes, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah? Let me know what you think of the changes. But I think it's really exciting. It's good stuff. And, you know, it just goes to show that they're constantly, as is the Google way, tinkering all the way. Little tinkers, eh, Google? You little tinkers, eh? Now, in other news, ladies and gentlemen, in the section that I like to call game ruler speculation, we're going to go over to our friends, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go over to our friends at Stadia Source. And they are reporting on a potential game here, House of the Dead. House of the Dead remake. Now, this, I think, came from a Polish website. Or something like that, I read. But a fresh report has surfaced that states the House of the Dead remake will be coming to Google Stadia this year. Last year, we brought you info that Forever Entertainment, who we know are bringing games, you know, have got games on Stadia already. I think they did Monster Boy, didn't they? Or is that somebody else I'm thinking of? Maybe that's somebody else. Anyway, they got F in the name. Anyway, Forever Entertainment entered into an agreement with Google to bring the game to Stadia. The news of the agreement came from the management of the company around the same time Forever Entertainment released its Q1 2020 financial report. So this was a rumor from last year. So this news website here has stated the game is indeed making its way to Stadia. Now, this could just be them repeating. We've always got to bear in mind that sometimes people just repeat the news source that they've already seen. So it's still the same single piece of news. It's not like two different sources. Effectively, it's still one source and the other person is reporting on that same source. So we don't know. But House of the Dead remake on Stadia. So again, big speculation, big rumor, but you never know. There we are. Thank you, Four Scars. I knew you'd have it. Thank you, John. They brought Panzer Dragoon remake to Stadia. So it could be another one of the games that they're doing remakes on. But anyway, and just this evening as well, I picked up on another rumor. So we're just going to squeeze it in now. I don't have any pictures to share with you, ladies and gentlemen. But talking of Judgment, there is a announcement this week from Sega stroke the developers about Judgment. Now, some people have been speculating it's about the Judgment remake coming to PC. I'm not sure because I think that is specifically for the next gen, current gen. So basically Stadia, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X. Yes, I'm linking Stadia in that because the developers of Judgment have and Sega have. So anyway, so there is an announcement coming up. Now, it seems that the developers, Ryo Kagoto, Kagoto, I can't remember what they're called now. I've written it down somewhere. Anyway, are developing and have been teasing a sequel to Judgment. They've been letting out little snippets, apparently. I tried to find some on YouTube. I couldn't find any on my Japanese site, and I no longer have my Japanese researcher at hand, so I couldn't sort of do any further searching. And it could potentially be set in New York. Given the clips that there's been reported on, it looks like he could be out in New York doing some stuff, probably chasing down some Yakuza in New York. I don't know. Anyway, now, I think, ladies and gentlemen, given the response that Judgment has had on Stadia, and if Stadia is still behind it and supporting Sega in the right way, could we see this on Stadia? And I did see that this sequel, I did see someone say this sequel is due in April. This was a while ago, this year, which I can't believe. But anyway, could we see the sequel to Judgment on Stadia soon? So that's another speculation. So that would be really cool if that is that the case. I hope so, because I'm absolutely loving Judgment right now. So if there is a sequel, bring it on. Bring it on. Why would it not be on? Why would it not be on Stadia? Anyway, and nothing, ladies and gentlemen, of course, the news of the day. Nothing like getting Stadia Twitter community into talking. John Justice leaves Stadia, ladies and gentlemen. John Justice leaves Stadia. This from 9 to 5, who reached out. Here, yeah, a sprawling company with 140,000 employees, people coming and going all the time. Information today reported the VP and head of product at Stadia, John Justice, recently left the company. They reached out to Google, and Google said, yes, we can confirm John is no longer with Google, and we wish him well on his next steps. Now, inevitably, that's going to set everybody off into a kind of chicken licking scenario. Oh, the sky is falling in, the sky is there. Oh my God. Now, of course, the question is who will be replacing him? If anybody, we don't know. We don't have the facts. In itself, someone choosing to leave, that could be for a myriad of reasons. In itself, it may not be significant. But I'll let the doommongers run off, wringing their hands, ringing the bell. Bring out your dead. Bring out your dead. People leave companies all the time. As I tweeted today, I left Lego 17 years ago. It's doing fine without me. People leave and then they're replaced. And in more sort of serious scenarios, I work for a big media company. Many of you know who that is. I work for a big media company. And key people leave all the time. Like channel controllers leave, get replaced. New people, some people are moved up from within. And that's a good thing because they deserve it. I've seen some people going on there and they need a big signing. It's not a freaking football club. Yeah, and even some of the best players, take Liverpool, for instance. Those who are into football, there are many people that have come from the academy. Yeah. Alexander Trent D'Arby came from the Liverpool academy. One of the best wingers in the world right now. Plays at Liverpool. Yeah. You don't need a big name. Often people get big name signings in. Yeah. It's just sort of marketing to promote the image, whatever. They're not necessarily the best people. I've seen some people dismissing that, they need a big signing like it's a football club. And that really kind of, in a way, you're sort of dismissing the talent that might already be in the pool. And it's a bit disingenuous, to be frank. There could be really good people with really great ideas who've been in the Google system for a while and get it and understand it. That's not to say they could get somebody from outside. Another thing it could be maybe is John Justice oversees the consumer experience for Stadia in the past, and talks about what's coming next for the game streaming. And what's coming next to the game streaming service? Hey, he delivered the search bar and then probably went, yep, my work here is done, ladies and gentlemen. I'm off. Yeah, his work's done. He delivered the search bar, man. What more do you want? But seriously, people, seriously, do not go down the speculation hole, the speculation rabbit hole. Yeah, we got nothing to go on other than somebody's left. Is he a significant person within Stadia? Yeah, of course he is. Not denying that. But it's the only bit of info you have is man leaves company. Yeah, that is it. Anything else is just stuff and nonsense. So ignore all that stuff and nonsense. You only get yourself upset about it. You're only going to get yourself in a tizzy about it. Yeah? A tizzy about something that has no substance. But, ladies and gentlemen, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What is this, ladies and gentlemen? What is this? What's this on LinkedIn, ladies and gentlemen? Let's have a look on LinkedIn. Can you see that? Alex Haig, product manager at Google Stadia. So probably in the product manager team, yeah? Probably previously supervised by somebody who was supervised by John Justice. I don't know. Possibly. Let's just see what happened. Okay, he was an associate product manager too. So lower down the chain. April 2021. What like last week or so? Last week, he got promoted. He got promoted to product manager. What's that suggest? Suggests A, the department is still very, very solid. They're still promoting within that department. Maybe somebody up above left. They've moved some people up. Just saying. If you're going to kind of collate evidence, here's some evidence that, you know, they're just reshaping, reorganizing, moving people about. Now somebody has moved out, moved some people about in that very, very department. Very, very good. But wait, there's more, ladies and gentlemen. There's more. What's this, ladies and gentlemen? What is this? Christopher Hong, product manager, Google Stadia. Okay. Let's have a look. Product manager. Oh, when did you become product manager? Christopher Hong of Google Stadia. Let's have a look. May 2020? What like now? So, ladies and gentlemen, it just says to me that, yeah, John Justice has left. They've moved some people about in the department. They promoted some people. They could be getting someone in high above. But yeah, the department's not going anywhere. They're promoting people within that department. So that's all I'm saying. So the facts are people are moving up within the department and John Justice has left that department. They're the only facts that we have. Yeah. But what they do tell us is the department is alive and well, ladies and gentlemen, alive and well and promoting within that department, probably because John Justice has left and there's been a shift up of some personnel and things like that. So that's all I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen, just giving it some context, giving it some background. That is all. That's all I try to do, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I try to do. Look for facts and information. Shout out to Akash Monger. That wasn't my research, by the way. At Akash Monger on Twitter. Sent me those. So much appreciated, sir. Thank you for that. It was a good find because I'm writing this next piece and then this news happened and that kind of helped underline my next piece. So doom mongers, get out of my face, you beep, 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 beeps. Shout out to Akash Monger anyway on Twitter for helping me with that and for sharing that on Twitter and just enlightening us so I can enlighten you. Anyway, so man leaves job, people get promoted, department has a shift round. That's about as much as we can say, ladies and gentlemen. The role still exists as far as we can tell. Yeah. So it is, as I say, just a case, man leaves job. That's it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, anyway, doomongers aside, let me show you some light. Yeah. Let me show you some stars to look at. Yeah. Some breadcrumbs. Okay. So over the last week or so, I've been collecting little bits of news. Yeah. I like to collect little bits of news and stories from the tech world, which by themselves may not mean much, but collectively goes to show that Stadia and Google is very much in the gaming world and planting seeds that may bear significant fruit. So let's look at these, ladies and gentlemen. Let's look at these. First one, ladies and gentlemen. What is my first little seed? Okay. So the first little piece of news here is this. Stop that. So, in What Hi-Fi magazine here, old Sony TVs are about to get the new Android TV face, effectively Google. Yeah. Google TV upgrade. And they're applying it to older Sony TVs. We know that the newer Sony TVs are getting it. We know LG TVs in 2021 are having their own WebOS application. Plus, the older LG TVs will also be getting an upgrade for Stadia. Yeah. And now we know not just the new Sony TVs, but older Sony TVs are also getting effectively Google TV, which means when the Stadia app comes available, it will be available on Sony TVs. Yeah. More about how Stadia is sort of, what's the word? I've forgotten the word now, but permeating your everyday life in terms of where it's available. Yeah. Playing on the devices you own, which is what it's all about. Yeah. And this is just more examples of potential of where that will be. And before you know it, as I've said before, it's just part of your life, it just exists. Oh, what's that app? Boom. Oh, you want to play AAA games? Just press that app that you already own on the device you already own. Boom. Ease of entry, ladies and gentlemen. Ease of entry. So there's the first bit. As I say, just interesting in itself. But when you start collecting these things, you start to see a pattern. The other thing, ladies and gentlemen, was this. In game industry, Google, so this is more Google related, but it's to do with Google Cloud, which is significant. Google and 2K Games launch open source cloud storage system. Cloud native solution open saves can be integrated into mobile and console games. So this is a tool. Yeah, this is Google utilizing the cloud and developing tools in association with 2K Games to provide cloud tools for the gaming industry. Yeah. So Google Cloud is very much interested in the gaming industry. Now, this is not Stadia directly related, but it is indirectly related because here is Google forming relationships with significant publishers like 2K Games. Yeah. And this was developed in partnership with them. So where are 2K Games? What cloud system are 2K Games going to be using? Hello. Open saves. And as with many Google products, it's open source. It's available to everybody. But once you've got, just like Android, once you've got everybody using it, it becomes the thing that everybody has to use. That's why people are questioning Google's size, because of their search engine. Yeah, because it's become the dominant search engine. Why? Because they just basically gave it away. They gave it to everybody. Android operating system, it gave it away to everybody. Put the Google search, put Chrome in there, Google Chrome in there, and everybody's got it. That's how, by permeating your everyday life, it becomes the de facto thing. So get everybody using cloud storage, Google Cloud Storage. And it just makes that stepping stone to then releasing games on Stadia. Maybe Just a little easier for game developers and publishers. Maybe game developers and publishers take Google slightly more serious because they have this open source cloud software that supports gaming. They already have loads of stuff as well, but this is another example of working with their partners. This is Google in particular working with their partners in the gaming industry, and it adds credibility to Google and in what they do. So just saying. Right, ladies and gentlemen, in other news, so the other thing is, there are allegedly Sundar Pichai of Google fame, of Alphabet and Google fame, of course, has teased here, according to 9 to 5, significant announcements at Google I/O 2021 as product cycles return to normal. Okay, so I'm not saying there's going to be massive announcements about Stadia. Okay, but there will be announcements of stuff which inevitably will have an impact on Stadia. Yeah, whether it's new devices, of which Stadia will be available, maybe partnerships and things like this. Lots of different things can happen. But what is significant here is that what it touches on is that there were minor disruption at the beginning of COVID-19, which saw Google pause briefly Chrome and Chrome OS releases, and lots of other development got sort of kiboshed or slowed down. So in a way, I think there is a theory that many in the community have that COVID did have an impact, not just on developers developing games for Stadia, but on some of the Stadia technology that was being released during the year. And I think this is Google saying, yeah, COVID last year did impact some of their technological advancements, as I say, on development on Chrome OS and stuff like that. And now they're very much back to sort of almost full speed. So again, that could be a positive thing for Stadia if they kind of feel that they're up to full speed in kind of developing and issuing updates to things like Chrome, to the G Suite, Google Suite, and lots of other technical products they do. Equally, if they were impacted by COVID-19, equally Stadia development was impacted as well. So we could see an acceleration of stuff that, took a long time last year. Maybe hence why everything got sort of concertinaed towards the end of the year in terms of releases for the Stadia product itself. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting. We could see some significant announcements coming up at Google I/O. Talking of Google I/O, there are some sessions, whilst not directly about Stadia, do feature Stadia. Now, just to put this in context, Google I/O is not really necessarily the place that Stadia is going to get talked about directly, that there's going to be a session specifically on Stadia. But anyway, one of the sessions here features this guy, John McDowell. And John McDowell here is the Uber TL and staff software engineer for Stadia's UI team. Thank you, John. You helped with the search bar. And he used Flutter to launch on Android and iOS and founded the Stadia TV team using Dart. And he's on this talk telling people who want to understand how to use Flutter and Dart, Google tools, web tools and stuff like that in production, how Google have used it for Stadia and stuff like that. So it's an ask me anything question. So whilst it's not about Stadia directly, they are demonstrating that they're using Stadia as an example of how Google tools can be used, a flagship, a prime example of how Google products can be used. And Stadia and Google Play are the biggest users or implementers of Flutter and Dart, apparently. Don't know what they are, but there we go. So that's quite interesting. But just take a look, because I've seen some people disparaging. Oh, there's no announcement. There's no announcement of Stadia stuff at Google I/O. Shut up, Google. There's no announcement of products, there's Google I/O and all of that. But let's have a look at the products, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a look at the products that are being featured at Google I/O. Okay. We've got accessibility, Android, AR Core, Chrome OS, Firebase, Flutter, Google Assistant, Google Pay, Google Cloud, Google Play, Google Maps platform, material design, TensorFlow, and web. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God. Where's YouTube? Where's YouTube? Oh my God. That's it. That's it. YouTube's dead. YouTube's not on there. What? Where's Gmail? Oh my God, Gmail. Quick, everybody go to Outlook. Forget your they're closing Gmail because it's not featured. It's not featured at Google I/O. Yeah? People. Google I/O is for sort of web developers and stuff like that. It's not for game developers per se. It's for web developers. It's right for nerdy web developers who work in Flutter and Firebase, whatever they are, and TensorFlow and web. Yeah? It's not really the place for Stadia. Yeah? You're not going to have a seminar on Stadia really at Google I/O. You might have had one last year. I don't know. But it's not. More GDC is where you might see something about Stadia. Yeah? The Games Developer Conference. But just to put it in context, there are so many Google products, and yet there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are about 16 products, web development products being talked about here. Stadia doesn't really have a place at Google I/O, other than maybe how the tools, web tools, can help you access, launch, whatever to Stadia. But that's about it. Hence the I/O session on that very subject. So I said there's no YouTube on here. There's no Gmail on here. There's no G Suite on here. They're not dying. So you can't make that ridiculous leap, ladies and gentlemen. You can't really make that ridiculous leap. And that's all I'm saying on that, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, so these are all the little breadcrumbs, the little stuff that's going on. Yeah? Going to see Stadia on more TVs. Google partnering with gaming companies to provide gaming tools in the cloud. Stadia being used as a benchmark for using Google development tools like Flutter and Dart for web. Yeah, and saying, look how well it works on this platform. Significant products being announced coming up. May not be directly about Stadia, but an indication that Google are kind of back to full speed in terms of development of products and tech. So we could see a more faster rollout of stuff for Stadia if that was the sort of the pattern that happened last year with COVID-19. But of course, there's more, ladies and gentlemen. There's more little breadcrumbs. Of course, a few weeks ago, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Whoops. For real. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Cloud Gaming Dad. Apologies there. My Russian's not the best. Jerry, how are you, sir? There's more breadcrumbs, ladies and gentlemen. So a few weeks ago, there was that Play Jam, which was sponsored partly by Google, by Stadia. Here we are. Let me just call that up. So the Play Anywhere Game Jam, which was a sort of a week sort of gaming jam in which diverse development communities got together to develop co-op games. Stadia was involved part of this along with Play Jam, who put on these sort of developer jams and stuff. And, it's a chance to sort of encourage diversity, see some indie games and all that. And now it turns out that some of these indie games that we saw being developed are actually now part of the Stadia makers. So they've gone on to the next level and will be coming to Stadia. So there are three, I think there are 3 games from the sessions which have now been moved to the Stadia Makers platform. One of them is a crazy fishing game, I think. One of them is a crazy dog walking game. This one, that was a dog walking game there. And the other one, what was the other one? There was another weird. Oh, it's the billiards one, where you play billiards at the same time. And they're all co-op. So Dog Walker, this game is one of them that's coming. And the players play the dogs, and another player plays the dog walker. And the players playing the dog in a kind of humans fall flat have got to try and do everything they can to disrupt the player walking the dog. That's the idea anyway, as I understand it. But anyway, some really interesting visions and thoughts, and they're coming to Stadia. Some of these games are now coming to Stadia. So this is Stadia, as I say, planting the seeds. Some people just went, oh, it's nothing. Stadia just sponsoring it. It doesn't mean anything. Well, you know, that is irrelevant and all of that. I saw that kind of talk. But from that session, yeah, more indie games are coming to Stadia. Oh no, Clive, not more indie games. Oh no, we got indie game. I don't want more indie games. What are you talking about, Clive? Oh my God. Yeah, more indie games. Let me just show you something, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, why can't Stadia be like Xbox and PlayStation? Yeah, why can't it be like Xbox and PlayStation, everybody? Interesting article here. Why Xbox Game Pass is a discovery engine for gamers. Microsoft Game Pass has had a seismic impact on the video game industry. Yes. But even though the value proposition Xbox Game Pass has been well documented, Microsoft's subscription service has also provided a terrific platform for independent developers to shine, one that feels like a match made in heaven. Independent games have continued to rise in prominence since the Xbox 360, which was a platform that Ago, who's been interviewed here, was super close to the development community. But when it came to Xbox, Ago, the developer, conceded that Microsoft lost its way a little. But what this article is basically saying is the ID at Xbox program was Microsoft's big push to bring independent developers back to the platform. And what this article is basically saying, ladies and gentlemen, what the article is basically saying is, isn't it amazing? Isn't Xbox amazing for indies? Isn't it amazing that Xbox are working with indies to bring indies to Xbox? Isn't that amazing? Aren't Xbox wonderful? Hello? Hello? This is what Stadia is doing as well. And isn't that wonderful too? Yeah, working with developers, not just developers, up and coming developers, seeding the future within the gaming industry. Because what happens if publishers and platforms just pile on the AAAs, that's what you'll get. You'll get cookie cutter games. You won't get any diversity of thought. You won't get the new creatives coming up. You won't get the Fall Guys and stuff like that. You won't get Among Us and stuff like that coming up, and those ideas. So well done, Stadia, developing for the future, ladies and gentlemen, developing for the future. Just saying, that's all. I'm just saying. So there we go. If you follow the breadcrumbs, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Dave Handley became a member. Thank you, sir. Very much appreciated. Thank you, sir. Arigato gozaimasu. Anyway, follow the breadcrumbs. There's lots of little signs. Yeah. Are they overwhelming? Are they absolute slam dunks? No. But there is a pattern. There is a pattern of behavior that if you follow that pattern shows that Google are making their moves just here and there, just doing this, investing there, planting seeds, and these will bear fruit. But they're constantly progressing, developing, and moving forward. That's all I'm saying. And all that is just over little news stories that indirectly or directly impact on Stadia in a positive direction, or perhaps suggest things are moving in a positive, slow, not a wham bam, thank you ma'am direction, a slow but sure direction. Feed in all the other stuff we do know about all the games coming and stuff like that. And the pattern is there. The pattern has already been there. And the pattern is following exactly what they said in February. They're concentrating. Stadia's not going anywhere, and they're concentrating on bringing the games. And all of that sort of backs it up. They're still pushing Stadia out, still working on the UI, still working on Stadia as an app, an application, improving it, still bringing the games, planting seeds for the future. All of those, ladies and gentlemen, all of those. Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's chat time. I hope you found, let me know what you thought. A bit of ranty, but I just wanted to talk about some of these things that I've found and some of the patterns I've seen. Like, it's like reading the runes, yeah? None of us know for certain, yeah? But I always see a bit of doom mongering. And yet, if you look amongst the weeds, you see the seeds of optimism and positivism. Yes. And to be frank, they outnumber kind of the negative indication by a significant amount. If you choose to open your eyes and see them, they are there. If you choose to see them, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I'm saying. Right, ladies and gentlemen, chat time. As I said, let's get to the chat. Hit the likes, everybody, as I said. Oh, dear. Did you like the little stand-up bit there? Apart from the first two jokes, they were all stuff from Twitter that I'd read. All stuff. And your mama knows, Anthony, this is Clive. It's my favourite. It keeps it real. Informative, education and entertainment. Exactly. For Scott, John is confident we'll see the sequel to Judgment. I hope so. I'd love it. And why wouldn't we? If I'm a betting man, it's statistically more likely, or no, not statistically, probably more likely that we will than we won't, put it that way. Codex is saying Fergie proved this in the early 90s. Exactly. What was it? The Gang of Four. No, the class, sorry. I should know. Oh my God, I contracted a program about it. The class of 92, Codex. The class of 92. You'll never win anything with kids. Yeah, classic. Football reference there, yeah. The class of 92. David Beckham, Scholes, Giggs, all through the academy. Yeah, exactly. There we are. Codex, thank you. You won't win anything with kids. They won the league with 60% players from the youth team. Exactly. During my 30 years plus of gaming, I can't keep up with the number of people who've moved from one position company to the next, even if that company, of course. I tell you, the amount of, when I was in, I'm going to go, not again, Clive. When I was in the war, no. When I was in the gaming industry, you're at it again, Clive. Yeah, it's a competitive market. There's a lot of flux. There's a lot of money to be made. People sort of move on and go up their career and get poached and all that kind of stuff. Especially the creative industries, people get poached. You know, there's recruitment firms set up, headhunters set up to do this from big companies like this. So yeah. Yeah, untapped talent, exactly. I mean, they might get somebody from outside, but I just think it's disingenuous just to dismiss anybody already there. Grace at Google got promoted, yeah, in her community manager role. So she got promoted. And in a way, it was saying, say the role that she replaced moved on. You're like saying, oh, well, they should have got somebody for externally. Yeah, sometimes it's better to get somebody internally because they know how the game works. Yeah, sometimes it's good to get a flagship name in, but don't go dismissing the talent already within the pool. That's all I'm saying. Some like to talk 40 minutes or more about it. Exactly. How many minutes did I do, John? Thank you with the level-headed talking there. Some people incapable of rational thought. Well, yes, Codex, there's nothing more to say to that. They are indeed. Rock's having a cup of tea. Russian, I'm afraid, is a bit rusty today, so I can't respond to that one, sir. Sorry. Keeping it real. Thank you. Sounds like my type of game. What game's that? Oh, the walking the dog one or the billiards one, where everybody plays. In the billiards one, I think everybody plays at the same time. Thank you, Jerry, on the 4K. Exactly. This time next year, we'll be millionaires. It will be a million subscribers. I wish. That'd be crazy, wouldn't it? Dominic says, I missed the beginning, but any thoughts what the 4th Pro game? I think it'll be Ark. Hey, what if it was a Judgment sequel? I did see some YouTubers saying the Judgment sequel was due in April, which is gone. I don't know where he got that stuff from. I think he got confused. I think that won't be out till next year. So I've seen speculation it's Jedi Fallen, just because it's the May the 4th. That'd be quite amusing if it was. But I think, as I say, surely it's got to be Ark. Yeah? Because the DLC is coming out at the end of the month. And they've already said that's going to be DLC available for Stadia. Stadia, all the versions, including Stadia. The publisher said that on their website. Due out on the 26th. So I thought it would be out beginning of May. I don't know why there's a delay. Maybe it's not quite ready. Maybe they wanted to give it some space. Or maybe it is a surprise. Maybe it's something none of us speculated about. But the point is, it's a 4th Pro game. So what's it really matter? Another 4 games to have a look at. I haven't looked at I've only looked at Floor Kids. Anyway. No Justice, though. Only a couple of years. Yeah, he moved on quick. I did look at John Justice. He'd only been there a couple of years. With the refs' help also. Only messing. All right, Paul. All right. Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That was the show. I've gone on for an hour now. Fingers crossed for Ark, says Dominic. We've all waited patiently for it. Yeah, I probably think it will be that, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, just want to say a massive, massive thank you to all the new members who joined. Arigato gozaimasu. Really, really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will reward you as much as I can for being members. I thank you. It means a lot. Thank you for all the super chats and all of that. Absolutely awesome. Really, really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed my ranting. Hope you enjoyed Mr. Stand-Up, Stadia Stand-Up Guy, and all of that. Have a wonderful evening, afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are. Thank you again, and I'll see you round. Hey, let's all come back here, same time, same place, next week. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Fingers crossed on the announcements tomorrow, and we'll see you around. Oh, yeah. Quick shout. Could be Rainbow. Rainbow Six Siege. Good shout there, JK. Could be. That would be awesome if it was. Still think it's going to be Ark. But there we go. Have a good one. Signing out. I thank you. Arigato gozaimasu.